Hello, everyone. Welcome to another great and exciting episode of the Curious K podcast. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Kolakbol, and I am the host of Curious K podcast. Curious K podcast is an amazing show where we have conversation with entrepreneurs, startup founders, policy makers, and everyone working to make entrepreneurship thrive, on the African continent. Our goal is to share these beautiful stories. And on today's episode, we are doing something very different and something very exciting. And you should relax, sit down, relax, because you're really going to have a good time. This episode is featuring an amazing friend, brother, who's been on the podcast before, and actually is the first guest on the Curious K podcast. Please, let's welcome Hakeem Disu to Curious K podcast. You're welcome on the show, Hakeem. Thank you for joining us today on Curious K podcast.
Thank you very much.
All right. Yes, so, you might be wondering, why is Hakeem coming back on the podcast today? I'm happy to let you know, and maybe this is the first time you're going to hear it, that Hakeem recently launched a book he co-authored with Adeshina Ajayi. And the book is about blockchain. And if you know Hakeem Disu, is one of a very great enthusiast of blockchain technology. The company co-founded some years back, Conway Technology, has also been driving the conversation around blockchain and how the technology can transform the lives of people, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa. So this book is an amazing book. The title of the book is How Blockchain is Solving Real Life Problems in Africa. And this podcast episode is just to give a sneak peek into the book, right? So we get to understand, what inspired Hakeem to write this book, in collaboration with Adeshina Ajayi. And the book is spread across 5 chapters. Hakeem will give us insight onto, what inspired him, and the amazing insights. If you want to really understand what blockchain technology is, this is the podcast episode to listen to. So Hakeem, thank you once again for joining us on Curious K podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure here. Thank you very much, Kolakbo.
All right. So, how are you doing today? How has it been?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty fine. Exciting, as you can see. I'm looking good.
I like that. I like the Ferrari logo on your tees anyway.
Thank you.
Nice. All right. So tell us, tell us about the motivation for authoring a book, on blockchain. All right. And why did you focus on exploring the challenges that we face in Africa? That's the title of the book, How Blockchain is Solving Real Life Problem in Africa. So why a book about blockchain?
Oh, thank you very much, Kolapo, for having me here once again. And it's really, really exciting to be here on this show again as the number one podcast for techpreneur in Africa.
I like that.
And I'm so happy and
Thank you for that, Hakeem.
to be here on this show once again. So basically, I'm writing a book on how blockchain is solving the real life problem. Actually, was inspired by Colorful. So we recently launched the education arm of Coinwa, which is called EduBlock, which focused majorly on educating college and university students about blockchain education. And also, we train government agencies, we train teachers, corporate organizations, etc. in EduBlock about blockchain education. Also, we design the curriculum. So, sometimes back I was having a conversation with Kolapo on, how this strategy is gonna go and this, that, and that. So he mentioned now you've been in the blockchain industry for the past couple of years now. So, and you were like, okay, now you're having an educational platform. Why don't you just have a book based on your expertise, just to help you with a go-to-market strategy about EduBlock, which I think makes a lot of sense. And to my amazement, he actually came up with the with the title of the book. You know, while we were talking, we were like, okay, why don't you just write something on how Africa is solving, how blockchain is solving some problems in Africa or something. Like, oh, okay, this sounds generic and straightforward. Okay, let's do something. So that was how we came about, writing a book about how blockchain is solving real life African problem. And I figured that aside that also, I figured that there is no substantial book on blockchain, especially in Africa here, because most authors I've seen, especially most authors I've seen in Africa here, are majorly about how to make money on cryptocurrency, how to whatever cryptocurrency, and blockchain is way beyond crypto or fintech. There are so many industry that encompasses blockchain, and so that's actually one of the reasons for me to say, okay, it's time for us to enlighten people about blockchain, because whenever people hear about blockchain, all everything in their brain is about crypto, whatever. And blockchain is beyond that. Crypto is just like a byproduct of blockchain. There are so many industry that blockchain is definitely going to revolutionize in the next few years to this time.
Absolutely. I'm humbled to know that the conversation we had, kind of really inspired the book, and I mean, it's very important to also note that it's not just about having random conversations. It's important to actualize, if you know what I mean. Some people used to say it's not just about ideas, it's about the execution. So I want to give you a big shout out, Hakeem, here. That even though we had the conversation, you took it a step further, to make this a reality. And now we're on the podcast, talking about the book. Thumbs up to you,
Thank you very
once more. And of course, thumbs up, big shout out to Adeshina Ajayi, for co-authoring the book with you. So can you tell us about the simplest way you can explain this blockchain technology? What we're trying to do here is just to give a sneak peek so that people can grab a copy of the book. So tell us about, simplest way people can understand this technology, and maybe if you can just give us an overview why it's been popular in recent years. Like you said, people hear about blockchain, what comes to their mind is crypto. So let us know in simple words, simple way, what is blockchain technology?
Okay, I'm not gonna define blockchain in a professional way. I have to, because I know so many listeners out there. Out of 100% of Africans, I won't say Nigeria alone. I'm in Nigeria, but I love to, bring Africa in just a simple umbrella. So I can say out of 100% of Africa, over 99.9% don't even know what blockchain is about, and it's normal. It's a new technology. So this does not mean Africa is behind. This is like technology that I see that all we Africans are actually enthusiasts to know more about. So basically, in a layman language, what is blockchain? So instead of defining blockchain, I will give you an example so that we can understand this better. Okay, for example, let's say you work in an office and there is a ledger, definitely, or let me say financial company, and there's a ledger whereby you can record your debit and your credit every day. That's a book that you can see every day. Okay, so imagine this book, or maybe there is a fire outbreak in your office, or something like that. This book is gone for life, or maybe someone tampered with that book or something. It's gone and it's gone for life. So what I'm trying to say is that book keeps record of your sales in your company. That is the credit you make and the debit you made. So imagine this book is tampered by some unscrupulous financial holder, or maybe some accountant in your company. It's hard to know. But the way blockchain works is, so I want you to see this book in the light of blockchain, this physical ledger that you record your transactions in your company. I want you to see this same in blockchain. So now blockchain is like an online ledger where you record your transactions. You record your transactions online. So the major advantage why blockchain is more sustainable and better than the physical book is the fact that it is recorded online and it cannot be tampered. or manipulated by everybody. Whatever is recorded is recorded. It had to be tampered, it had to be manipulated by everybody. What A is seeing is what B is seeing, is what C is seeing also. But unlike the what's the name? The ledger, the physical ledger that you have in your office, that can be tampered with, it can get burnt, it can be thrown away. But blockchain, once it's there forever and ever. Nobody can tamper with it, nobody can even mess with it also too. So I think that simple explanation should definitely help us to understand what blockchain is about. Like, it's an online ledger that records transactions and which cannot be manipulated by anybody. Whatever is on blockchain is there for life.
All right, yeah. So, I mean, based on the explanation, I think I'm also seeing it as like a database, right? Because it's a platform, if I can use that word, where people come to record data, right?
Exactly.
And I think it's revolutionary, like you said, because it's not like a normal spreadsheet or a normal database. On spreadsheet, for example, I can share my documents with you and you can edit everything I've worked on.
Straight up.
All right. But blockchain, that can't be done.
Nah.
Even
if it can be done, it has to be agreed by both. I won't say it can. It has to go through some process.
Okay.
And those process is like, how do I put it? Like, there's something we call in blockchain that we call ad fork.
Okay.
And that actually require, it's just like when a set rules is set for this particular, let's say token or something.
Okay.
And you think that, I think the rules we've set for this token, or maybe tokenomics we've done for this, or maybe some sort of smart contract we've done for this particular project is not sustainable. So that's when ad fork comes in. So I'm not sure it comes in the form of ledger basically, but it comes in the form of basic, like the blockchain part.
Absolutely. I like that. I like the way, you're just breaking it down. And I believe the listeners out there are really, getting the full gist, right? So tell us, so when I think about blockchain in the book, you talked about some of like the concept of blockchain technology. Can you just share some of that with us?
Basically, the concept in blockchain are majorly decentralization, immutability, and when we say decentralization, that means it is not controlled by just one person. It's controlled by different blocks of people. Just like when they send a transaction on Bitcoin now, the transaction goes to different computers and different people have to solve this problem to get a solution to it, and before everyone now gets rewards for whatever block they've solved. So it's a decentralized system where not just one person can control the blockchain protocol. It has to be decentralized and go to different computers for them to reach a particular answer for a particular problem. And for the immutability part also, like I mentioned, it can be changed. It's immutable. Like, it can be tampered with, it can be manipulated by anybody. No, it can't. So it's there also. And blockchain can be used in different industries, as mentioned earlier. It can be used in the supply chain system. So let me give this example. Let's say you went to a car dealer now. You want to buy a car, and definitely maybe you're looking for a car with very low mileage. Definitely these car dealers can definitely manipulate this mileage, and maybe a car that has covered maybe more than 5,000 mileage, and they can decide to just reduce it to maybe 1,000 just to,
to increase the value,
just to increase the value for the customer.
Yeah.
But definitely there's no way you can know because you're not there. But with blockchain technology, if we can employ blockchain technology into this kind of system whereby the IME like of the car, like how do I put it, like there's this thing that comes with the car. I forgot, maybe it's this
is like the serial number.
Yeah, the serial number is registered on blockchain.
Yeah.
So
the engine parts,
exactly.
everything.
So once just for you to just type this serial number into the blockchain and see the amount of mileage that have been covered, by the car, instead of someone just manipulating you and telling lies that this is the mileage. So with that, it's not manipulated. You can see that directly from the blockchain technology. So that's one of the concept, that the advantage, the importance of blockchain. So another one is, for example, I want to use myself as a case study. I used to run a logistic company a few years back, and then Sometimes we can have 3 deliveries, 4 deliveries, but my rider might have close to 10 deliveries in a day. That's his own personal money. I won't even know about it. He won't tell me. You understand things like that. So in the logistic part, for example, now you can be able to know the amount of rides completed by your or miles completed by your rider in a day. That is, okay, if the rider come back, okay, I only did four deliveries you sent me today. You're not just gonna argue. Just for you to go on the blockchain, search the the bike URL, for you to know the amount of miles and areas covered by the rider. So that would definitely help in the supply chain and the logistic part also too. So in the health record also, blockchain is very, very important. So for example, someone is having, let's say, an ailment in Nigeria here, and the doctor is treating that person already, and the person needs to maybe get transferred to America, London, or India for a better medical attention, and definitely the doctor in Nigeria does not have the contact of the person in America or whatever. But with blockchain technology, if we can employ into the health record, that's what I'm trying to say. It's just for the what's the name, the doctor in India or maybe Ghana or whatever the person is. It's just for the doctor to look at the blockchain record of this patients, to understand the ailments, how the treatment has been going, what has been used before now, the stage of this ailment, etc. And from there, the doctor can continue
treatment.
The treatment, instead of calling the doctor in Nigeria or asking for some manipulated document, paper document, But with blockchain, you can see that, okay, this is the record. That's, for example, the doctor in Nigeria would have imputed whatever ailment or the stage of medication, disease, the stage of the ailment into the blockchain. So with that also helps in health and different areas also too. Just
and I'm curious to know, this is the Curious K podcast, so we are
curious.
driven by curiosity.
Exactly.
Right. There's something I share on my WhatsApp status randomly, #stay curious with a K. All right. So back to the question, right? So I'm curious to know, you mentioned like once a data is like imputed in the blockchain technology, it can be changed, right? That data will be taken as the truth, and the fact that the platform is not like centralized, it is decentralized, controlled by different people. The question is, what if a wrong information is imputed into the platform from like the beginning? All right. That is a wrong information or a wrong data set. All right. Because the platform is going to take it as the truth. Is there a way that can be verified on the blockchain technology, or how do you trust that the source of the initial, data going into the platform, is verified?
Okay, yeah, I get your question. So what you're trying to, let me just simplify your question so that people can understand it better.
Okay.
So I think the question you're trying to ask is, okay, let's say, for example, something was added into the blockchain earlier, and it's kind of wrong, and the people in charge feel, oh, this is wrong, we need to change this, right? That's your question, right?
Yeah, part of it. The people might not even know it is wrong.
Exactly.
But maybe in trying to review that data, eventually people discovered it's a wrong data, but everybody has taken it up as the truth. And you mentioned that once the data is already updated in the platform or the blockchain technology, it can't be changed.
Exactly. That's why I mentioned ad fork.
All right.
So that's where the ad fork comes in. Like you mentioned, thank you for the question. So you have to go get the book for you to understand more about smart contract. But irrespective, I will just give you because of the question I asked, I need to go into smart contract. So this is it. Let's say we need to execute a job between us, and at the end of the day, maybe we have to be paid a certain amount of money or whatever. So at the long run, maybe there is a miscommunication between us or something, or maybe the deal is not favoring one part, or maybe the either party is not favoring. We can ad fork it. So what I mean by ad fork is this: we both set the rules on the smart contract. Like, okay, A is A, B is B, C is C. But we now know that, okay, if we have to go this route, this might not be favorable to this person, then we can add fork. Because, that means we have to now change the rules we've set for that particular. So that means we have to now change the rules we've set for that particular project. So this is where blockchain comes, that if we are changing the rules, it has to be agreed by both parties. That is why it's called a decentralized system. Okay, now we are changing the smart contract rules. Maybe, for example, I'm supposed to get a job done, and when I get the job done is when I will get paid. But for one reason or the other.
All right. Yeah. So thank you. Yeah. So I like that. I like the response to that. So just to step back a bit. All right. So the book is broken down into 5 chapters, right? And this podcast so far has just been exploring some of the key, insights, in the first chapter of the book, which is understanding blockchain technology. The second chapter explores real life problems in African communities. The third chapter explores blockchain solution for African communities. And the fourth chapter explores the case studies, of successful blockchain implementations in Africa. And of course, the fifth chapter talks about the challenges and the future of blockchain technology in the Africa. In the course of this series, we are going to bring in Adeshina Ajayi as well, the co-author of the book, just to, give us a sneak peek into some of this very interesting topic. I think they really put together to come up with this fantastic book. So, without much ado, I would like us to just explore some more insight before we round up the podcast. So, Hakeem, can you tell us why is it important for people to grab a copy of this book?
Like I mentioned earlier, over 99% of Africans don't know what blockchain is about, and just like when the internet started then. In the early 90s, we Africans are way behind when it comes to internet penetration. For example, we can say maybe we have like 2 or 3, or let's say 4 companies that are unicorn, maybe in Nigeria here. While in America or in Europe, they have countries that are worth trillions of dollars, like Apple, Microsoft, etc. So I feel blockchain is still very new, and what can make us a successful continent in the next 5 years is that we should be at par in technology with the Western world. We don't want to lag behind on this particular technology also, whereby these Western guys would have made billions before we now start waking up again. So I think it's not about we selling a copy of the book, but it's about the information and education that we're trying to pass to the younger generation to understand that blockchain is going to revolutionize the African industry in the next few years, and the fact that there are so many job opportunities in the blockchain space. So we just like we're doing in EduBlock, training people about blockchain education. So we want people to get acquainted with blockchain technology and the areas they think they can fit in. And to be sincere, this blockchain technology runs across different industries. So even if you're a lawyer, a doctor, or whatever, you can make use of this opportunity and just get a career in the blockchain part, and just to salvage your own particular profession, or just to make you a better professional. You're just ahead of your competitor, like a competitive advantage if you can get blockchain education, or just have a copy or read about this book to definitely help your progress and your growth.
All right, so where do you think people can grab a copy right now?
So basically, we want this to be distributed equitably. Like, we want it to be even distribution, whereby it can be accessible to anybody, anywhere in the world. Amazon books for people in the diaspora, America, London, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, etc. And for Africa, for Nigerians, it's available on Seller, and it's available on Kobo 360. So people can, and Okada books also too for Africans also too. So it's available. So even you can Africans can buy on Amazon also, just because of maybe some sort of payment issue or the like. So Nigerians and Africans can buy on Kobo Books, Kobo 360, Okada Books, Seller, etc.
All right. Thank you, Hakeem. I think it's really been an exciting conversation. I'm happy to have had early access to the book. It's very insightful.
Thank you.
You really need to grab a copy, check it out. You learn a lot of concepts, fantastic concepts, and it's well written, well broken down. And thank you for educating the ecosystem, and writing this book. And of course, a big shout out to Adeshina as well for co-authoring the book with you. Thank you very much, Hakeem, for being on Curiosity
Thank you for having
podcast.
me.
Yeah, a link to buy the book will be on the show notes. So anyway you're listening to this podcast, check it out. Let us have your reviews and catch you on the next episode. So I just want to say thank you, Hakeem, once again.
Thank you for having me, Kalapo. I'm so grateful for being part of this show again. It's an exciting one.
All right. Thank you, everyone, and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Stay curious.
Stay curious.